All right, welcome back, class. It's wonderful to see you. This is the 6.1 quiz review day. All right, it's going to get kind of sloppy in here because I'm going to just be spitting out names and numbers, and you got to pay attention to make sure you're following along. So feel free to pause it if I'm going too fast. So this is the last of my little lessons before our quiz on 6.1. We spent 3 days of my lessons on it, and then this is just one big last review. So Blake, just hold your horses, all right? Just follow along and dominate these problems with me. A couple important standards, all right? Hopefully by now we're feeling comfortable. We're at a 3 or a 4, and we're going to kick butt at this quiz, all right? Now, before we get going, this is going to be a little bit kind of tricky, and you got to just trust me on this. We're going to try something maybe never ever been done before. I don't have facts for that, but I'm gonna just make that bold statement. We are going to do a distance learning group class high five. All right, all of us at the same time are going to raise your hands and give each other one high five. Put your hands in the air right now. I know you guys are doing it. Okay? Come on, Keegan, Caleb, you got it. Joe, Logan, Ends, put your hands in the air. We're gonna high five. All right? Lily, this might be out of your comfort zone. Okay? But let's do this. All right? Summer, Zach, Electra. Here we go. High five. Here we go. Oh man, I'm excited about this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. High five! Yeah, nice job. All right, there we got one in the books. Electra, I know you're probably smiling right now. It's one of the most fun things you've ever done in your life. Thanks for participating, everyone. So, all right, Alex. Sorry about that. I just kind of quirky like that. Let's do some fun things. All right, so here we go. We're gonna do just some generic review stuff. I'm gonna just I might even just skip all this stuff and I'll grab your whiteboards if you got them at home. I think I'm just gonna solve a bunch of these on my own, and just hopefully you follow along. This first one's 10 to the 5th, final answer, right? Next one is -3 x to the 5th, y to the 8th, all to the 4th power. Make that a little bit bigger for you to see. What we're gonna do is distribute that to each and every piece, okay? Now this -3, it's in a parentheses, right? Because there's the two parentheses, okay? So it's going to be really -3 to the 4th power. A lot of people might just type in 3 to the 4th. It's a -3 to the 4th, which is going to be positive 81, okay? X to the 5th is x to the 5 times 4, which is 20th. And we got y to the 32, okay? Final answer right then and there. So no big deal. Number 5, we don't like negative exponents, so we're going to throw them over 1 and toss them on the bottom. And it becomes 1 over b to the 6th in a positive way. Okay? We're moving on here. Let's just move on to these difficult ones. 11 and 12, or 11 and 13, excuse me. I'm going to take that one, I'm going to rewrite it so it looks a little bit bigger. 10x to the 4th times, in parentheses, 2xy squared to the 5th. All right? I'm going to extend that page and we're going to give it a shot, okay? Payne Doney, usually you're sitting on one of my comfy chairs on the right of the smartboard. You're probably sitting in your comfy chair at home. I'm going to have you solve this one for me, all right? What would be the first step that you do? There's nothing I can do there, so I'm going to have to do that piece, which tells me I'm going to have to distribute that 5 to each and every guy. So it becomes 2 to the 5th, x to the 5th, y to the 10th, right? Here's a times, here's 10x to the 4th. And now, I'm just combining my like things, like terms. It's all multiplying. Really, there's a times in between every one of them. So 10 times 2 gives me 20, right? X to the 4th times x to the 5th gives me x to the 9th. And I got just that y to the 10th hang out left over there. Look at that. That was a pretty complicated problem. And we just hammered out in a couple seconds. Okay? So hopefully those are making a little bit more sense. Okay? All right, I'm going to go back up and let's write this number 13 down. Brody Bittis, I think you're up for the challenge on this one. It's probably the most complicated one that we've had so far. But we're going to still just give it a shot, all right? First off, it's all times. Is there anything we can multiply and smush together? Sure, 4 times 3. That's just 12. Don't forget your simple math stuff. I have an x to the 4th. Oh, it's a negative 4. Uh-oh. And an x to the 1. If I added those up together, I'd get x to the negative 3. Right? And then last but not least, I have y to the 3rd and y to the 5th. That's y to the 8th. So right there is almost my final answer. It would be if they were all positive exponents, but I see one thing that I don't like, and that happens to be this negative exponent right in the middle there. All right. So what am I going to do? I'm going to throw it all over 1, take him, dump him on the bottom, and let's see if this just works right here. Nice. And that just becomes now a positive. Okay? Clean up my answer over here though. It's 12 y to the 8th over x to the 3rd. Lots of numbers and x's and y's all over the place, but we got that. Okay? So, hopefully this is making a little bit of sense. You know, we're about 5 minutes in. I don't know, let me just keep on doing a couple other problems. I'm going to do number 5 here. It says 2 x to the 3rd, y to the negative 3rd. Anybody see a problem with that? David, you see anything wrong? I don't like that negative 3. Why? So I'm going to dump it on the bottom and it becomes y to the positive 3. That's my new answer. Not bad right there. Okay? Number 7. Hammer those out. Casey, Clausen, you got this one, man. 3y x to the negative 1. Casey, you see anything that's wrong there? Sure hope you're seeing that negative 1 exponent. Dump it on the bottom. It becomes x to the positive 1. That tells me there's my final answer. Okay? I can write the 1. I don't have to. If I just put x, this isn't probably going to erase too well, but if I just put that, that's also the correct answer. Okay? How about if we go to like number 10 where we got 3 things? Well, it's still just one piece at a time. Okay? So that I'll just write a little bit bigger. 4y to the negative 4th times y x to the negative 3rd times 4y to the negative 2. First thing I'm doing is kind of combining like terms. I see just a 4 times a 4. That's going to be just 16. I see a y to the negative 4. I see a y to the 1. And I see a y to the negative 2. We're adding those all up. And so you get negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. But minus 2 more, you get y to the negative 5. And then when we do the x's, it's just x to the negative 3. Okay, nothing to combine it with. I think that's my final answer, right? Oh, it's not, because I have negative exponents, right? So, we want to take this answer, and we want to kind of clean it up a little bit. Here's my cleanup answer. I'm going to take that, dump it on the bottom, so it becomes a y to the 5th. I'm going to dump that one on the bottom, so it becomes an x to the 3rd. Okay? Now, Bailey, you might be like, Mr. Beek, you wrote the y first and not the x. If I wrote this, would it also be correct? Yes is the answer. Okay? Those are the same things. Doesn't matter whatever numbers we have. I generally like to write it like this second one where just alphabetical order and stuff like that, but that's what we got. Okay? So, a couple more problems. We're just taking a stab at a bunch of stuff. Michaela Ladline, help me out with a couple of these, all right? Let's do a division one. Okay? Let me rewrite that here. Let me scroll down. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to make up a problem. Here we go. This is what it looks like. X to the negative 5, y squared. Let's put a 5 there over 2x y to the 8th. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. Final answer, we can piece it out one piece at a time. First off, my numbers. 5 divided by 2, anything reduce there or combine? No. So my answer is 5 halves. Okay? No big deal. If I have an x to the negative 5 and an x, really there's a 1 there. I don't like that. I don't like this negative 5 here, so I'm going to dump it down there and make an x to the positive 5. That means I have x to the 6th down on the bottom. And last but not least, let's go back to the blue box thing. Y squared up top, y to the 8th on the bottom. That means there's more. Let me use red here. That means there's more y's on the bottom. How many more? Well, in that case, there happens to be 6. So that's my final answer. Okay? One little piece at a time, right? Okay? All right, this one won't be on your homework then, since I'm just completely making it up here. Let's go to a new sheet. Boom, there we go. All right, Vince, the hair and the muscles, man. You got this for me. Let's go with 20 x to the 0, y to the 3rd, z to the 5th, times 2 x squared y to the negative 4. Whoa, looks kind of tough. Not really. Why? Because it's just simple numbers. What's 20 times 2? 40, Vince. That's good. All right, Vince, how many x's do you see here? You see an x to the 0 and x to the 2. That's 0 plus 2. We got y to the 3 and y to the negative 4. That gives me y to the negative 1 because I'm just adding. And last but not least, I'll do a double line blue. I have z to the 5th. Okay? Final answer is almost there, but there's one thing, Casey Holdrow, that I see that I don't like, and I'm going to get rid of it. What is that one thing? Well, it is this guy, of course. He sits out as not looking right. So what we're going to do is just take him, dump him on the bottom, and that y to the negative 1 moves down and becomes y to the positive 1. Okay? Now, don't leave your final answers the way I just wrote it, but that's our explanation for it. And so how would we clean that answer up a little bit? Well, just the things on the top are 40 x squared z to the 5th, and on the bottom we have a y. It's y to the 1, so I'm just going to leave it as regular y. Okay. But Aiden, if you wrote the 1, I'm not going to mark you wrong for that because it is correct. Okay. All right. Woo-wee. I'm gonna just keep on going because I think this is going to be helpful for you, for those of you that are paying attention and watching. And so let's just keep on making stuff up. Let's go 2 x to the 3rd, y to the 5th, all squared, times 5x to the 0, y to the negative 7. Yeah, we'll go with that. Jill, you got this one. Lead me through it. If Jill was here in class, she would say, Mr. Beek, I'm going to distribute those. Yes, you are. Nice work. So 2 squared is the number 4. X to the 3rd to the squared is x to the 6th, and then we got y to the 10th. Okay? If I'm talking too fast, just pause it and take your own time with it, your own speed. Nothing I can really do here, right? I mean, I'm just going to rewrite those. Okay? Unless you wanted to drop that y to the 7 down there right away. Huh? I'll just do that. There we go. Step is simplifying. All right, and then last but not least, now we're just going to combine things. Actually, you know what, I'm going to actually go back and leave that as a y to the negative 7. Might actually make it seem a little bit easier until the end. Because now we're just going to combine like terms, right? Now, a 4 and a 5 aren't like terms, but they're like in the way that they're just numbers, right? 5 times 4. Let's say they are like terms. They're just not the same bases. So anyways, I just get 20 for that. Sorry if that was confusing. X to the 6th times x to the 0 is just 0 plus 6, which is still 6. And y to the 10th and y to the 7th is y to the 3. Okay? That's actually my final answer because there's nothing else left to kind of do or to simplify. Okay? All right. I think that I'm going to call this a day and a lesson. Like I said, Gabby, as always, if you're having questions or concerns, just hit me up on Google Hangouts. Reach out to me in an email. I really want to be here to be a source of information and just a help for you guys. And so if you're struggling, it's weird, this distance learning formula, but I can't read your mind, so I don't know if you're struggling or not, so you really need to just take steps of action and say, I don't get this, or I don't feel comfortable with how much I get, and I want to know it all. Because ultimately, I want you guys to ace every one of these quizzes and ace every assignment, and I know you can. So just making sure you're feeling comfortable. So, all right. Well, you guys take care. Thanks for doing that high five with me at the beginning of class, and have a wonderful day.